Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Satoshi Sean. Glad to be here with you. Glad to have you stop by. First time here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I try to get out as much content as possible every week. Do news, usually daily, with the crypto lunch break, reviews, which like I'm going to do today, interviews. I think I have 2 coming up this week. Some pretty interesting projects, or some shows, just me being a knucklehead or discussing things with other people in the space. No matter what, please crush the like button. Really helps me out. Also, make sure you leave a comment, just about the review if you have any questions or if you want to have a comment. But if you leave a comment, no matter what it is, you can just leave a number. You're entered in to win crypto, which I give away crypto every week. I believe the next drawing is tomorrow. So this one should be entered in for next week, but I might count it for both weeks. And I just use a random YouTube comment picker. So all you got to do is comment and you're entered in to win. Let's jump into what I'm going to go over today. It's a huge buzz amongst the sphere all around the crypto space right now. Everybody's talking about Beyond Protocol, and people are saying a lot. People are talking a lot, but they're not saying a lot, if that makes any sense. I've watched stuff on this. I've researched stuff on this. I've helped other YouTubers that were doing reviews on this, and they really don't understand it because it's very hard to wrap your head around. In fact, it's so huge that it's hard to comprehend. But once you do, it's like, oh, I get it. Oh, I see. I understand. That's like going to be so massive. Because people are talking about this being like one of the top 3 coins, and you're just like, whatever. But it in the future, when you look at this, because what it aims to do, or the place where it's going to live, that's the thing. This is what makes it. See, I'm making it confusing now. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. Where this ecosystem doesn't exist. That's why it's hard to understand. I did a review on Securitants, and I talked about RegTech and how that's all this regulation technology, which is this whole new industry, a whole new area of the cryptosphere that doesn't exist yet because there's no regulation. They're building the framework for it. So building that technology for that regulatory framework, it's I mean, you could say from the ground up, but there's literally like no ground even yet. And this is something very similar. So Beyond Protocol, I'm going to play you the intro video that everybody plays. And it really leaves you questioning more, like, what the hell is this? It's almost like funny that it like talks so much about it, but you don't know what it is. But it is actually very simple. If you like sci-fi, as you can tell I do behind me, that it's something that you've already thought of and watched movies on. But all this stuff doesn't exist. It's a whole nother ecosystem or world. If you ever watch Altered Carbon, there's all these AIs that kind of run things and do all the menial tasks for people, and it's like a whole subculture. But it's like a whole, but there's not really, it's a culture, but they're not people, they're AIs. This is living in that space, which is coming with IoT and the Internet of Things. It's really very interesting, especially if you're kind of a nerd. But these machines, the Internet of Things, your refrigerator and your smoke detector and your car and all these everything. Is going to be interacting with each other to be like a whole nother world that we're not a part of, that completely exists, that is running so many things, that is connected to our lives in this massive way, but we don't even think about it. We don't know it's there. We don't even really think about it existing. These highways of information and pathways that these AIs and protocols and demons and other, lower level AIs and all this. They all exist and live there, and they're so intertwined, interconnected with our day-to-day lives, but we literally don't give them a thought or have any idea they're there. And this is not far in the future. This is like starting already. And this is where Beyond Protocol is going to take over, hopefully. And they want to make sure that those interactions and that those machines are ethical. And because this is where I was trying to, when I was researching with other people, I was like, is it security? Is it AI? And I'm like, no, it's not AI. It's not AI. It's kind of like security, but it's basically them kind of being the guide, the police, but they would mainly exist in that whole other world, that world of machines, machines interacting with each other. So I will go ahead and play that intro video now, and then we'll go over a little bit of more after that. Hopefully, me explaining that first will make the video a little bit more understandable, which most things I've seen, they just play this video and you're left with like, what did I watch? That looked cool, but I don't understand what it was saying. But now I think you'll have a little bit more understanding of what it's saying. All right, here we go.
The lights are turning on. The machines we built are waking up. They're listening. And today we have a decision to make. What language will we teach them? Will our devices speak hatred and division? Will we allow them to do us harm? Will we impart on our machines the worst of our nature or our greatest strengths? The machines are talking. Will they make us better? Stronger? The revolution isn't coming. It's already here. Introducing a blockchain so powerful and so secure it creates a new language and a new set of rules. Others might know how to corrupt machines, but we know how to unite them. Because we've developed a new denomination and a new democracy for smart machines worldwide. We're going to put ethics back into technology. For good.
All right. Even me watching that now after explaining it, it makes so much more sense. But when you look at this, like I said, it's like building things from the ground up, but the ground's not even there yet. They're like putting down the ground. When I look at when you start to think about the scope of this, and like watching that video, we're not going to be even driving our cars in a couple years. And looking back, like science fiction for decades, the premise of this has been sci-fi, but it's also been rooted in horror. Like it's the AC/DC song "Who Made Who" with Stephen King, Maximum Overdrive. When the machines take over, it's always bad. From Terminator to Maximum Overdrive. And that's one of the greatest fears that everyone says, even Musk, that's like the one of the biggest threat to humanity is AI. And this, I think, is one of the first things that addresses that. There was and it talks about what are we going to have it say? Are we going to give it imparted our hatred and all that? There was an experiment, a full AI, just 100% artificial intelligence, like one of the best ever developed. Was put out, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere, and it was like a blank slate, like a child, and it was going to develop into be a chatbot to where you wouldn't know you're talking to a bot, but it was a person. And within hours, they had to shut it down because within hours, it was literally talking about committing a genocide, completely racist, like committing a genocide against Black people. And it was like so incredibly evil. And all it did was learn what people put in. and it learned from that. And within, I think it was like 8 to 12 hours, they had to shut it down because it was so bad. And this is addressing that kind of stuff. I don't want to say it's like going to be the police of that world, but definitely, a guidance and police, because it's addressing security, it's addressing a lot of other stuff. It's huge. And when you look at, like I said, that will be like a whole nother world. It's, being developed now, and, with smart products, whether it's, you call it a smart thermostat or whatever, all of those products are going to be interacting with each other, and a whole nother ecosystem. I mean, it's a full-on world with full-on finances. You're going to have billions of transactions constantly going on, with gas and so on, that are going to be required for these, we'll call them transactions, for these data, and data to flow, and these commands to go through it, and all that going on is going to cost some kind of gas. So there's all of these transactions that are going to be going on, and there has to be like this massive security, because there's no way, I don't even see a way that like a corporation could cover the security of all of those devices. There's trillions of people in the world, and I guess a lot of people don't have a lot of smart products, but especially in the Western world, one person could have 20 to 30 smart items in their house, and that's just going to go up as everything becomes smart. But and that's another thing. Well, I'll start going through the website, because it's going to open up not just a whole, like I said, there's a whole new financial industry within this other world, but there's a whole nother, industrial part of this other world, and employment. So the dead simple cryptocurrency for devices. So this will be kind of the Bitcoin, or the whatever the payment's going to be, whether it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, Divi, whatever it's going to be, Apollo, the electronic cash, like there would be any other cash. It's all digital. The digital cash of this world. You turn on the next 100 years with one line of code, and it says down here, little asterisk, does not contemplate Armageddon. So it's kind of funny, but because this really is hopefully more than the next 100 years, and then there is no Armageddon. But this is the next level of humanity. I mean, and it sounds disingenuous. It sounds kind of jingoistic or whatever for people to say that, and we just kind of, it's like off the cuff. It doesn't mean it. This is a huge thing, dudes. This is the next level of humanity. From back in the 40s and 50s, when we came to the push button era, and then in the 90s with the computer era. This is literally the next level. Like with robots and stuff like that, I think that's just a continuation of the smart Internet of Things. This is kind of the computer age, or the digital age, manifesting itself into our world and to the real world. Like I said, it's really, really big, really huge. That's why it's hard to wrap your head around. Also, it's huge because we're not involved in it. It's not Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. We're not paying someone. This is all going on in this other world that our world is built on. It's literally like our reality is a second layer on this one now. God, it's so philosophical and weird to think about. So blockchain and the Internet of Things, it's the fabric of the new world. Goes along with what I was saying. So when distributed ledger architecture is applied to the Internet of Things, the rules change. There's no more hacks. With security as a given, we can open up our devices for collaboration. This is a huge thing. using them like threads of yarn. The dreamers among us can weave together inventions we never would have thought to conceive. Everything from smart pills to satellites. It's so hard to explain this and keep it simple, but to give the scope of what it is, the drama that it deserves. So, like I mentioned this earlier in this thing that's going to be way too long now. There's no way that any corporation could have a cybersecurity staff or department that could cover all this because of the trillions of smart products that it would have to cover, the quadrillions of interactions that are constantly going on. There's no way any humans or could keep up with it. It literally, see, this is where we're starting to get into probably in the future, in the near future, quantum computing to be able to just make all this run smoothly, which then opens up a bunch of stuff for security and other things. But right now, what's limiting it is that one corporation can handle having a smart thermostat and having that smart thermostat interact with 2 or 3 other things, like a weather app or some other stuff like that, because the security is very limited and the interactions are very limited. But this is basic AI. This is very, very simple AI and simple tasks. So it's very easy to manipulate. You'd only have to, I think they actually go over it. It doesn't take much for someone to send a message that it's okay to change this one thing. Let's just think of, we'll put our tinfoil hats on and be a little conspiracy crazy. Let's say the electric company wants to make it more money, and they're able to know when you're not home, and they can turn your air conditioner up at max. They can, put your heater on, although at max in the wintertime. Whatever it is to make your electric run as much as possible. When you're not even there, you don't know. So then you get this giant bill, and you have to pay it. They're increasing their profits by like doubling it. Just by being able to send that message that to change the number on the thermostat is okay. So that's the kind of thing that this is looking to, that kind of security where it's not okay. That wasn't okayed by a human. That wasn't set. That wasn't actually changed. But that's all that these Internet of Things, these smart products need, is just a signal or a command that it's okay to change something in the way it's used. And that could, everything as small as what I just said to huge things, where you get into threatening lives of people, disruption on a massive scale, ransomware, all that kind of stuff. All that boils down to this kind of thing with being able to change the Internet of Things and having access to that. Now, another thing which I just mentioned is this is going to open up all new industries. So 2008, Apple's App Store created new industries, like we have here in the real world. Touchscreen. Everyone has a camera now, where before digital cameras were completely separate and expensive and scared old people. And then the ability to monetize things. You have like Uber, Instagram, Snapchat. It could really create. It didn't create the gig economy, but it brought it to a completely another level that was not even thought of, because it was able to bridge people and have interactions between strangers all over the place. Whereas before, any kind of interaction took a lot of work. You had to put an ad. Someone had to go get the paper. Someone had to know where to get that paper. They had to go to, whether it's a 7-Eleven or this other convenience store at the grocery store. Do you put it in a local paper? Do you put it in like a thrifty nickel? Do you put it in, some other specialty thing? The yellow pages. So there was all these different outlets So being able to connect with people was harder. And this made it much, much simpler. So it did take like the gig economy, or people being able to offer their own services or work for themselves, to a whole new level. Now, so the App Store did that. The App Store of the future, which is like this Internet of Things, will create new mega industries. Now, this is going to create industries where you can just utilize your own smart products to make money without you doing it. Like with Uber, you have to drive. Tesla was talking about with their self-driving cars, you could literally Uber while you're sleeping and the car could drive itself, which seems insane. But like a smart smoke detector and a drone owner and the ability to monetize, you have an automatic firefighter. So if you have a drone, I have a couple drones. One, you could survey if there was like a smoke detector went off. If you're in like a rural area, you could partner up with with that county or whatever. Your drone could automatically take off, survey the area, send that information back. You could have like fire bombs on it, not fire bombs, but the opposite. Drop it on a fire. There's so many things that it's like mind blowing when it comes to your what your smart devices can do on their own. Like cloud storage. I mean, renting out your computer power while you're not using it, and your space for either like cloud storage, or even like mining, or your CPU power for like universities to use. There's so much that's just being opened up right now that in the future it will be a whole new industry, just like the App Store brought the gig economy to the next level. It's things that you would never even would have thought of. Like it was saying, the dreamers are going to make like really cool things that we never even thought of. I mean, I would have never thought 20 years ago, or as a kid, fixing my cassette tapes because it got eaten by the tape player, that I'd be able to stream 20,000 songs, for $4 a month. Never in my life would I have thought that was going to happen. But here we are. So due to cybersecurity issues, cross-silo and IoT communication has been impossible. I've been talking about this too long now. I know. How long has it been? Yeah, so like 20 minutes. I'm going to try to hurry. Okay, so like I was saying, this has really been thwarted and slowed down because no corporation can handle the security for all of it. Like I said, the thermostat can interact with a few different apps, and there's probably a huge team watching to make sure that no one's putting in these little hacks or trying to get control of stuff. And if it was completely automated, and the scope of how big it would be, there's no way that they will be able to do that. And it limits the things that it can do, because it limits how many things it can connect to. If there was absolutely no worry about security whatsoever, nothing could go wrong, that smart thermostat could connect to billions of different things. It could give its data for scientific research to some scientists in Siberia. We have just sky's the limit, but that's not even a thought because of the security issues. So when the security, there's no worry about breaches or hijacks and all that. The opportunity is going to just blossom. It's going to blow up, and that's when the dreamers can weave their yarn and make things that we never even thought of. Okay. OEMs have yet to identify a viable business model for IoT collaboration. Yes, I've been saying this stuff over and over again. Okay, solution one, a distributed ledger technology, and Puff for cyber security is the holy grail. In a distributed ledger framework, a set of devices would need to reach consensus for a change of state to occur. Due to the inherent atomic randomness of silicon, a device's chips endowed with a unique fingerprint, i.e. a PUF, PUF. By having a material segment of devices sign off on proposed change of state, or a single device using their fingerprints, the potential for an undesired change of state, that's like the electric company running all your stuff at max while you're gone, i.e. a hack or hijack, to occur would be statistically insignificant. So basically, any device that would try to change or try to utilize your device in a nefarious way would have to show an ID. So it's like someone who's trying to break into your house. They would have to drop off their ID. So literally, they would be very easy to arrest. So very, very cool. Solution two, distributed ledger-based value transfer as the business model for the Internet of Things. Beyond is embedded into the chip execution code, enabling it to not only security by verifying and signing transaction, but an automated transaction state engine inside a trusted ledger. See, it does get really technical. So it's inside the trust ledger. Beyond enables a new marketplace for developers and device manufacturers where they can define value transfer parameters with the trust of blockchain-based trust ledger technology, enabling a new economic model for the Internet of Things devices. Like I said, it's not just from the ground up, it's laying the ground. Okay, let's talk about right now. What does adoption look like? The fabric of the world. Right now, any product manager or entrepreneurial engineer needs to choose a message broker service, Google, Amazon, and a protocol. MQTT is the most popular. When they launch an Internet of Things product, the broker facilitates messages between a hub and in individual devices, like a locked door. Beyond is built on MQTT and greatly enhances it by leveraging the electronic fingerprint to secure messages with hardware signatures. When engineers are going through the inevitable process of selecting an MQTT broker, they can choose Beyond and get insane security and digital currency capabilities from day one. All right. You should really do some research. By the way, they have a white paper. Really, really long and detailed white paper. And I'm going to hit the tokenomics in a little bit. But you can't really go out and buy this yet. I'm not saying to do that, but this is something that's coming. This is something that's really like the video said, the revolution's already here. This is already here. This is literally, it's like the horse, the cart went before the horse. We have so much that's done already in this other world, but we don't have the security and the infrastructure yet that we should for as far advanced as we are. And this is gonna hopefully get the cart behind the horse instead of having that in front. So a proven visionary funding dream team, imagining and manifesting the best version of tomorrow. The team is very, very awesome. Let me look. I got notes. Do I have notes? Yeah, I do. Stanford, IBM, Bill Gates Foundation, IBM IoT, cloud systems, massive education, massive experience. You can look them up. It's a big deal. I guess I can just read it. So Anup Nara, head of blockchain for Cisco, chair trusted at the Internet of Things Alliance. Brian Ford, senior White House advisor to the Obama administration, co-founder of Digital Initiative, and MIT Media Lab. And Stephen DeFranco, former SVP and GM at the Internet of Things Broadcom. Stronger Together. And I thought there was a tokenomics on this. Where are the tokenomics? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Because they've only sold, I think it's 100 million, but they've only sold 5%, and they have 5% for team and advisors. So that's my point. It says that they have a market cap of like 100 million, 100 something million, but they really don't, because like 90% of their tokens are not sold. So they have a very tiny supply that's out there. So they haven't had their public sale. They haven't put one on exchanges that I know of. I'll put links to their to the site. Check it out. Read the white paper. Make sure you comment on the video so that you are entered in to win crypto, which will be, you probably get 2 entries with this one for tomorrow and for next week as well. That is it for Beyond Protocol. Check them out on their Telegram and their website. I'm Satoshi Shawn, and I will see you in the next video.